Hey everybody, Will Hamilton here, and back by popular demand we have the cat t-shirt. It's actually a hipster cat, not an emo cat, so thank you for everybody who pointed that out. Also, best comment related to this shirt, not sure who left it, but it said, Will, I hope you don't wear this shirt in public, love, Mom. Now I know it wasn't my actual mom for two reasons. One, my parents call me William, and two, my parents don't really understand the internet. That's actually not true. I'm selling my mom short, but my dad refers to a printer as the printing machine, so that should give you an insight into his technical skill set. So, Dad, sorry for throwing you under the bus on video. With that in mind, let's talk about the US Open final between Adny Murray and Novak Djokovic. Now, to give this some context, and the title of the email I sent out relating to this video was called Butterfly. And well, let's take a step back. I think this match really is going to come down to court positioning. I've said in past videos, if you replace Murray with Nadal, the Djokovic-Nadal matchups are really about who can move forward into the court first, and I think that's going to be the case for both these guys as well. So the player who's going to be able to step into the court and take control of the point first is going to win this match. I was watching Murray practice on Arthur Ashe Stadium before one of his night matches, and he was out there with Ivan Lendl, and Lendl was just making sure he was moving forward on any ball that was short. So Murray really has a much more aggressive mindset now that he's working with Lendl than he did in the past. Djokovic, of course, well, everybody focuses on his lateral movement, is quite good at stepping forward and taking control as well. So the question is going to be, how are these players going to get that shorter ball where they can step in and attack? And in the last video I did about the US Open semis, where we're talking about Djokovic versus Ferrer, I talked about a shot sequence that Djokovic liked to use, where, and remember, circle is the player, stick is the side they're hitting on, like a pinball machine flipper. So this is a backhand for a righty, forehand for a righty, forehand for a righty up here, backhand for a righty. What Djokovic likes to do is, when he's in a backhand-to-backhand exchange, he'll take a backhand up the line here, assuming that the ensuing shot is going to be cross-court like this. He'll move over here, take this as a forehand, and he's gotten his opponent on the run at this point, right? So his opponent, the initial exchange here, he has to run over to hit that, cross-court, then it's down the line, so he's got to run over to hit that. That typically elicits a shorter shot in this area of the court. Djokovic shades over, he's forward now, forehand in control of the point here. Now, I think that, this exchange is certainly going to work, but Murray, here's a player, we all know about his variety and whatnot, but he's very good at changing the direction of the tennis ball, both off of the forehand and the backhand wing. So when we're talking about over here, where you've got this backhand for Murray, let's say Djokovic tries to get into the sequence, right? They're backhand-to-backhand exchange. Djokovic goes up the line. Murray comes over. He sends this forehand cross-court. Djokovic comes over here, sends that forehand up the line. Murray, more so than other players, as Djokovic shades over thinking he's going to be in control, has the ability to put this ball back down the line here, like that. And when that happens, obviously, it's going to be a situation where Djokovic is moving this way, has to stop and come back and get that ball. More likely to be off balance, more likely to then hit a short ball that Murray can now step into and take advantage of. So I think, if we come back to the butterfly, there's a drill that players use to practice where one guy, let's say the guy down here, hits all cross-court, right, cross-court this way, and then when he's over here, it's cross-court that away. And the other guy, this guy up here, is all down the line, right? So he's always hitting down the line. So the drill, if it started over here, if this guy fed it in, feeds cross-court, this guy goes line, this guy runs over, cross-court, this guy comes over here, goes line, this guy goes over there. So I think we're going to see a lot of exchanges that basically look like this drill. And then when somebody is trying to, go be more aggressive and look for that short ball a couple of shots later, what they're going to do is break the pattern, right? So So Djokovic would go cross over here, Murray would go line, and then maybe Djokovic, instead of going cross court, as Murray expects the cross court ball, sends this ball back up the line. Well, now, thanks to the power of video editing, I have actually erased the board. I'm going to walk through this a little bit more carefully than I did last time. We deleted the end of the last clip because it was a little convoluted. So let's walk through this sequence. Let's say that Djokovic, again, this butterfly, goes cross court here, and then Murray goes line like this. When that happens, with the open court over here, Murray's going to anticipate a cross-court shot, so he's going to be moving over this away. But then what Djokovic would do is hit the ball back up the line like this. And this marker is failing, so TV timeout. Let's see how this one does. That's a little bit better, but not really. Well, anyway, Djokovic would go back up the line here. So what you end up getting is a player going this way and then having to stop and come back, right? So it's the classic wrong footing of the player. So I think both Djokovic and Murray are going to use this, and when you force someone to start and stop, then they don't always get their feet planted and they don't always hit as deep as possible. So I think this will be a key tactic in terms of both players being able to move forward into the court and take control there. I expect a lot of long rallies where guys are basically jockeying for the vertical court positioning like this. And then when somebody's able to step into the court, as opposed to hitting through the court, look for people to go off the court, try and stretch the other player horizontally, So if Murray gets stretched this way, for example, there's a huge area of the court to hit into. So you initially use the vertical positioning to, a vertical positioning advantage to gain a horizontal advantage, and that's what opens up a big window, and that's what allows somebody to hit a winner, hit a really, quality approach shot, and then the other person's on the run and doesn't hit a great passing shot and then volley into the open court to win the point. So again, that's the main ground stroke sequence. I expect lots of cross courts, lots of guys going up the line, trying to move the other player horizontally, ultimately to get that shorter ball so they can move in. Other stuff that's going to be important, of course, the return of serves. Two best returners in the game, Djokovic and Murray. Djokovic is number one, Murray is number two. Obviously, the high first serve percentage for both guys is going to be very important. And if there's a big discrepancy there, that's going to have a huge impact on the match. So something to look for there. I think both guys are going to compete really well and be very mentally tough. I don't expect either guy to have an issue in that department, I guess you could say. Djokovic, obviously, last year was a rock mentally, and Murray has gotten a lot stronger as well in the past year working with Lendl. So I don't anticipate that to be an issue at all. So my prediction, why don't we go big on this one? I predicted Djokovic before the tournament, and I'm going to stick with that. I think Djokovic is going to win. I think he's going to win in 5 sets. I think it's going to be a very good match, high level. So obviously very much looking forward to that. Now, before we close this video, I want to sort of pivot off of the tennis and ask everybody watching a favor. We've got these markers. You just saw one of them fail. And, ever since, off screen for a second, ever since we switched away, we didn't do it on purpose, but you have these jumbo markers, like they're real wide, so they make a real big line like that. But these things are running out of ink, so I can't really use them. But I've been scouring the internet for a marker with a wider tip, so you don't get these narrow lines where I have to draw a bunch of them so you guys can see it on camera. So if anybody knows of anywhere on the internet where I could get a marker like this, please let me know. Maybe you run a marker company out of your parents' basement. That's where we started FYB. So if you run a marker company out of your basement, send me an email, reply to the email that got you this video, and let me know where I can get something like this. Just any idea, it'd be a huge help to us, so I really appreciate it. With that in mind, thanks for watching the video. Please leave me a comment. I don't know why I'm pointing this way, I guess down. Please leave me a comment below what your prediction is, what you think of the tactics. both here and what tactics you think you're going to see. So match starts in a couple hours. Looking forward to it, and thanks again for watching the video.
Run a marker.
Recording. What's going on, everybody? Will Hamilton here, back by popular demand. We have the actually hipster cat t-shirt. It's not emo cat. Thank you for the commenters who corrected me. You know, this is awkward. Let's try that again.
I'm waiting
At the blooper at the end. Yeah. Hey everybody, Will Hamilton. Wait for it. This website is taking a turn for the worst.